from the left coast where we take sound that combines sunshine with rhyme, move 'em around. Take it slow, watch the smoke we blow. Bring California swing and this thing for show. Well, hey there, baby, doll dancer, go, go.
Crypto Machine Crew, good evening. Yep, it's me, Dean the Machine, live. Unexpected, and very shortly announced in advance, mainly on our German-speaking Telegram channel. But at a certain point, you just can't keep your mouth shut anymore. I've posted it on Instagram. I don't know who's going to be live over here. I'll check the comments in a second. Yep, we do have a few folks. This is obviously gonna be a little bit more exciting later down the road when people see it after it's been posted. But a whole lot of stuff has happened in the whole crypto community and the whole scene. A little bit of positive, a little bit of negative, but just a whole lot of chaos. And that's really what I kind of want to relay. I'm just kind of sick of all the bullshit that's happening the whole time in the crypto scene. A lot of people seem to know it and suddenly seem to jump in it. And I've been in it for a little while. I'm not the know-it-all, absolutely not. But sometimes you got conversations with people, and it leads to discussions that kind of don't make sense. Why? Why didn't it make sense? Because people are not fully invested in it. What I mean by that is they're not fully educated in it. And it's going to take a little time, a couple of months, couple of years, but you'll see very, very shortly, especially after Wall Street is fully invested in it, which is going to happen in a matter of days, weeks, who knows. But today was one of those points where there was a fake post or a hack allegedly that happened. It was posted by the official account of the SEC and Gary Gensler, who is the head of the SEC. And it said that the ETFs were all approved. There's about 6 or 7 companies that have all this set up. That's what we're going to talk about today. So first of all, thank you everyone who's here. Für meine deutsche Viewers, tut mir leid. Ich hoffe, ihr könnt es auf Englisch checken. Ist mir einfach echt wichtig. So very, very short re-intro again for some people that are like, what the fuck is going on over here? I'm Dean the Machine. It's a nickname that I got, and it's kind of something amazing that happened over the last couple of years with my friend and business partner Sascha. We got a live stream going. We talk about all things in the world, and obviously people were locked up at home a couple of years ago, and a lot of people didn't feel very positive, let's say. So to make a long story short, we were there to make sure there's light to tell the people that there's light at the end of the tunnel and that everything is going to be all right. Of course, heavy politics are sometimes involved, heavy opinions, and everything in between. But the most important part is to get ahead, to see that whole end of the tunnel and to get through it. There's people that had ups, there's people that had downs in those times. And for me, it was especially emotional and important because I went to Germany. I met at a certain point all these people. We had a room full of 150 people that got together in Stuttgart when I went to visit. And from that moment on, I knew something needs to change and I need to do this more frequently, continuously, and stick to it. Because people even asked me earlier, they're like, Dean, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come to you, especially now after today. They're going to come back to Sascha and you, and they're going to come and apologize. I'm like, you know what, dude? I'm too old for that shit. If you would have told me that 10 years ago, yeah, my ego would have been really excited for that. But now I'm more excited to go, let's say, if it's only those 150 people. In the meantime, we already have thousands of people in Germany following that watch us on a weekly. And for me, it's just exciting when everyone can be, let's say, successful, happy, positive, see the light at the end of the tunnel, because I see so much misery in relations, in business, in investments, and everything that has to do with it. It's all this kind of crazy fucking time that happened in the last couple of years. And it's time to kind of break that in some kind of way. So before I ramble on, this is a crypto chat. It's a live stream, crypto live stream. And I have to start with crypto, with the big one, Bitcoin. Been into it since 2015, 16. I can't believe that it's almost going to run up to 10 years. I remember the time when I was like, oh, yeah, it's just been in for like 2 or 3 years, and suddenly it's 6 years and 7 years. And in the beginning, I was very skeptical. But for me, it was like, yep, all in, go for it. Like, I was just like, you know what? I'm the kind of person, like, I like to take risks. And a long story short, if I would have not done it, I would have not been here today. I would have not been able to do the things that I do or have done in the last couple of years. My life is great. My life is exciting. And I'm just a very normal kind of guy. There's nothing special about me. And you won't see me, driving some kind of like Bugatti and this obnoxious kind of lifestyle where it's like suddenly from $100 to crypto multimillionaire. Doesn't exist like that. These guys are going to sell you a scam. They're going to dump on your head. That's literally what's going to happen. There's so many rug pulls. There's no bonk. There's no Pepe. There's no Shiba Inu or anything like that that's going to set you free. It's going to be patience. It's going to be the loyalty to the community and everything surrounding that. So back to Bitcoin. It's an old product. It got invented first as a means of a peer-to-peer payment system. It's failed. I've said this also many times. Other people have said this many times. Yes, you can transact digitally. However, it's failed. Then the idea was programmable money. It is possible. We just see this now after 15 years. Bitcoin can be somewhat programmed, just like Ethereum can with their smart contracts in some form, in some kind of way. And then people are going to argue about the Lightning Network from Bitcoin, which is going to make transactions cheaper and faster to make it more efficient. I'm going to tell you this, guys. If it's still after 15 years not fixed, then wake up and just realize that there's other products that are going to be better for those particular means of transaction, for example. But don't forget, there's still digital gold, and that is what Bitcoin is at the moment. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. And you see, Wall Street is literally ready to invest not millions, not billions, but they have trillions ready to go. People can call me out when I'm wrong, but we have the companies like Grayscale. We have the companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, and so forth. I'm not even going to name them all. This is for further streams to go into depth. But what happened today, and I'm going to bring up a screen in a second. So there was a big run up, and people got excited again when Bitcoin suddenly, after the dip from a little while ago, went from 20K, it actually went down to 15K. At its highest peak, it got 69K. This was a double top. 65K was actually the top. A quick run up to almost $70,000. And at that time, everyone was shouting, yep, it's going to pass the $100,000 mark. It didn't do that. When people start screaming, when everyone starts going crazy and haywire about it, that's when you got to sell. That's when you need to go out. When the fear or when the greed is high, when you notice it, stay back, lean back. When people fear the price, when there's a dip, the candles are red, that's when you need to buy. That's the sale time. Summer sale, winter sale, what color is it? It's in red. Red is dangerous. It's offsetting to people, but that's the time to make a difference. Only in the bear market, when you scoop up 60, 70, 80, maybe even 90% discount in certain tokens and coins, only then can you make a difference. You're not going to be a multimillionaire from buying Bitcoin at 40K. Where is it going to go? 400,000 in the next year or two? Let's say it's going to hit that. I say about 250 to 350K, depending on how the rest of the market's going to go. What I mean by that is the rest of the stock market. If we're going to have a bear market, if we're going to have a dip, it's going to come back a little bit, and we're going to have an altcoin season that's going to surpass the whole Bitcoin cycle by far. Bitcoin's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not exciting anymore. It's not going to set someone free. And people that are jumping into crypto, they want to get that full-on freedom. I think it's important to diversify slightly. Don't jump on the first 10, on the top 10. No, you have to do your research. There's a few words that are very important in crypto. Two of those are HODL. Yeah, that means just hold. Don't be emotional. Don't sell when the price goes up and down and up and down and all that kind of stuff. Emotional trading is going to get you wrecked. In fact, trading in crypto is a no-go. All these guys, same here. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in a week. We can only speculate. We cannot see the future. Nobody has a glass ball because of world events, because of situations like now with the SEC that happened. And I'll get to that in just a second. What my passion has become is to not go by this mainstream media system anymore. Yes, not a lot of people are going to agree. Why? Because we're so indoctrinated by the bank that's going to give you 0 point something percent. Now it's maybe 2, 3, or 4%. And people are like yelling and yelling. Why? Because there's low liquidity. The banks need money. Yes, there's a certain kind of insurance, but you've been getting fucked for the last couple of years already. Why? It's called inflation. The percentages don't make sense anymore. Are you getting a raise from your employer the same way that the inflation is happening? No. So it's unfair. And the banks are just taking advantage of that. So what's the next part? Should we buy gold? We need some kind of like assets to protect us. Well, the stock markets, well, that's just gambling. Well, yeah, eventually you can say everything is gambling. You don't know anything for sure. It's difficult. It's difficult to suddenly see all this in the sea of craziness. But I think a lot of people are starting to realize, especially in the last couple of years, that everything that you see on a TV is not all truth. It's not all honesty. And a lot of people are becoming smarter and starting to do their own research. That's the next big important word. It's called Dior, not the fashion brand, with a Y. D-Y-O-R. Do your own research. It's the most important part when it comes to crypto. I've done the same thing. I've had some gains with it. I've had fun with it. I bought some things with crypto. People say it's not possible to buy things with crypto. Absolutely, it's possible, but it's not efficient. The fees are too high to take over the current monetary system. We're not there yet. It will happen shortly, but just not yet. We need a little bit more of evolution in the whole crypto space. I'll tell you what happened. Gary Gensler says the SEC account was hacked and it has not approved any Bitcoin ETFs. So the craze that happened in the whole crypto industry was that the official Twitter or X page from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, who basically is there to gatekeep everything or secure everything and make sure that people are not going to get scammed or anything like that. This is market manipulation at its finest. It stated today the SEC grants approval for Bitcoin ETFs for listing on all registered national securities exchanges. The approved Bitcoin ETFs will be subject to ongoing surveillance and compliance measures to ensure continued investor protection. I call bullshit. Here, Gary Gensler says that the site was hacked, etc. It's bullshit. What a coincidence when the whole industry was basically waiting. When the whole industry was basically waiting for an approval to happen tomorrow, Wednesday, January 10th. Everything is ready. All the amendments had been made. All these little like documents and stuff, the updates came around over the weekend, right before the weekend. People were speculating that it was going to happen at the end of the year. No, it got pushed forward. But January 10th was supposed to be today. I think the following happened. There has been a draft made and the draft got out too soon. This could be a total market manipulation of the SEC, of Gary Gensler. There has been over $1 billion that suddenly got liquidated because people obviously prepared. Now, the SEC would basically fine and punish companies for having a mistake as a tweet, as some kind of news article or anything like that. They would heavily punish these companies, these securities, these exchanges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what's going to happen over here? What's going to happen with the actual SEC? So now further, we have Elon Musk involved already, checking if it was actually a hack. The absolute worst situation, and this is very, very sad that it's happening already. I can't seem to open the page of CNBC, but they already came out and said the news that's they claim that X was hacked. The whole Twitter has not gone offline and has not been hacked anyway at all, and that the SEC was not hacked. So this is basically just trying to save anything possible. This is the exact showing of a news channel like CNBC that is corrupt from front to back. Journalism should be honest. I don't care what side of like the politics you're on or what side of the world economy you're on. It should not matter. Journalism should be objective. If it's positive for you or negative for you, that really shouldn't matter. And that is dead. Nowadays, journalism in that kind of way is completely gone. So I can't seem to open the page. We have retweeted it on our official Crypto Machine C Twitter X account. And I'm curious what's going to continue, because a lot of people got liquidated. And a lot of people say, well, we would have a run up to Bitcoin to $48,000. Well, I'm a little bit hesitant about that. I believe that the ETF had been calculated in already. It had been priced in, and we'll see where it's going to go. We see the price action over here. Run up from 46, approximately 46 and a half, all the way up close to 48. This was predicted by a couple of technical analysis from a couple of guys. We talked about it last Friday, that it's very possible that it's going to go between 48 and 50K before a little dip happens. Was this on purpose, a run up by the SEC to just shake out people and have companies like BlackRock, Grayscale, and Co. to just dump on people's heads to pick up a deal? Let me ask you this. The next part is, people are so excited about this ETF and this approval and everything to be able to buy cryptocurrency on Wall Street, basically. Well, my question is, why would you not want to have the real deal? Why would you not actually want to have BTC in your cold storage, in your wallet, basically, actually be able to own it, so to speak, yourself? Technically, nobody in the world owns crypto because it's all on the blockchain. But just to make it easy for a bunch of people that are new in the scene, I think it's very important to understand that these companies like BlackRock and all these huge Fidelity, Grayscale, etc., these huge investment companies, they're not there for the little guy. They're not there for you and me looking out. People that are like, oh, I would like to maybe buy like 0.01 Bitcoin. You know, I would like to invest $500 to $5,000. They don't give a fuck about you. They want you to buy in, lure you in, and then sell and dump on your head. That's exactly what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to purchase a Bitcoin at a certain point anymore because they're going to play with you. They're going to play with your emotions, and people are going to dump at a certain point when the market's going down. It's happened like that before. I've seen it with friends. I've seen it with acquaintances. I've seen it with people in the crypto industry that have gone wrecked only because they saw a couple candles go downhill. The worst part was the last run up. People get excited, and it's just this circus suddenly that is going completely crazy. 40K, 50K, and people are just like in awe. Well, guys, what goes up needs to come down as well. And it went down solid. But that's where you buy in. And people will still not understand it. They will call it dead. No, it's not. The same thing like the .com bubble. It's the same thing. It's just more exciting and a whole lot faster than the regular stock market. We have a couple more things, just a little bit of information that's happening. Twitter, or formerly Twitter, X, is about to launch a peer-to-peer payment system this year. I've talked to a bunch of friends about this, and they had no idea. They're like, well, where is this info from? Even my wife would be like, well, what is this website? I don't know. I'm only believe it when it's, for example, on Forbes or some legit website. Well, this is exactly how brainwashed people have gotten. Unless it's on CNN or CNBC, it's not real. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but the largest peer-to-peer payment system will be X. It will be the Everything app. And Elon Musk currently, I believe, I don't want to say anything wrong, but he has already a couple dozen licenses or payment processing licenses for the X app, and he's going to continue to get the rest of the licenses of all the 50 states and more to become the biggest Everything app, the biggest payment processing platform, basically, in the world. Well, why do you think he purchased it? Because it has the largest user database. It has the most users, period. And they're just like that, all a customer. Easy. When a guy like Elon Musk has already or was part of the inventors of PayPal, which is a staple now in the payment processing world online, do you think that this guy doesn't know how to continue, how to evolve, and how to implement cryptocurrency? This guy is not a couple of years ahead. He is light years ahead. If we talk about Tesla, if we talk about SpaceX, if we talk about crypto, he's a very, very, very big crypto proponent. His companies, just like himself, own a whole bunch of cryptocurrency, different cryptocurrency. And he made it even, he allowed it to purchase Tesla vehicles with Bitcoin. Now, I believe they have stopped it for a little while. Why? This all has to do with certain kind of SEC regulation, and he didn't want to step on anyone's toes. But also, this will all get approved eventually. It's just about time. It's not about if this will happen, it's about when this will happen. And 2024 is a huge year. Also, we have an election year. I don't care which side of politics you're on. If you're going to go Republican, if you're going to go Democrat, it really does not matter. But an election year is very, very important in the market, especially in the crypto market. We've seen it last time, especially when the lockdowns and COVID hit. We had crazy times. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not going to be any different this year and next year. The bull run is coming. The bull market has definitely started, very light, very humble, but we're going to go upwards at a certain point very heavily. That doesn't mean we're going to come back down to make some corrections, but people have to be ready. People have been quiet. I've been talking pretty much every Friday about crypto and everything surrounding it on our German channel, every Friday live, and people were not nice. People were like, "Oh, Dean, you talk bullshit and nonsense and this and that." And when a lot of people went in their hiding, I was there to tell them, well, it's still the same thing. Crypto is there to stay. Crypto is there to eventually not take over the whole monetary transactional system, but to be parallel with it, because people want to, at a certain point, they want to feel this whole decentralized, how should I say? They want to become decentralized, live decentralized. And what does that mean? You don't want to have a middleman, because we don't need to have a middleman. Why should we have to pay fees? It's the same thing. You have cash money, you go buy something, $50, you give $50, boom, you get $50 worth. The guy that you paid the $50 to, where you bought flowers, well, he's going to take that $50 bill and he's going to go buy hamburgers with it. Yeah. And the guy that is selling hamburgers on the side, he's going to use that $50 again. So those $50 are still going to be that bill. But do you use a credit card? Is the person on the other side only going to get $48.5? And then those $48.5 are going to go to the next person, and then a couple percent are going to get taken off again. And this is basically the scam of the century. I understand that people need to be paid for services. Goods and services are pretty much the most important thing that is out there. The rest is all accounting. Now, what people don't realize is it all doesn't need to be so expensive. People don't need to be so greedy. It's the same thing. I mean, we'll get to this at a certain other live stream. I don't know how I'm going to do this, when I'm going to do this, but at a certain point, I'll go live a little bit more and take certain specific topics. But the best example is, honestly, you have these crypto exchanges and people think like, well, that's where my money is safe. Well, no, that is not real crypto. That is not how you're going to use cryptocurrency. These are people that are basically making more money off the fees and off the transaction cost than the actual world of crypto was designed to be. Sure, fees go to, let's say, a company, we could call it, or software called Uniswap. And this is an automated market maker or a decentralized exchange. Yeah, you can swap tokens there. We'll get to that at a certain point as well. This is probably a little bit too much information for most of you, but people don't realize that it can all be a whole lot cheaper, and it can be of higher value. And this higher value will continue slowly to rise. Unlike the US dollar that is only dipping, that is only coming down. It's lost so much value over so many years that the power of the dollar is really going to shit. And there has to be something in its place. Is it going to be backed by gold again? Will it be backed by Bitcoin? One political candidate, Robert Kennedy Jr., was speaking about this, that he would implement the backing of Bitcoin for the US dollar. There's 3 more candidates that are very pro crypto. This is currently a little bit more on the Republican side than on the Democratic side. And I believe for the future of this country and of the world, we need to evolve. We don't need to go back, but we do see that the US government is heavily wanting to enforce sanctions and basically keep the thumb over the people. Why not have a free market? Why not actually let people make money? You're getting taxed for every single thing that you do. Income tax, sales tax, tax on your gas. It is wild. Property tax. I mean, it is really, really wild. Why should you pay tax over so many times over things? It is literally a ripoff, but we're used to it. And at a certain point, time passes, and the government is just like, oh, well, that's fine. But we're still with $34 trillion in debt. How the fuck is that possible? How is that possible? When at the beginning of the 2000s, Bill Clinton even said, I believe, was it Bill Clinton or George Bush that said, well, in about a decade, we're going to have all our debt paid off. It was about $5 trillion or something like that. Well, it doesn't look like that. I don't care who did it. I don't care why it happened, but it's basically control over people is not going to work in people's favor. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do well in a socialist, communist type of world where there's just free handouts. People are watching Netflix and getting stuff for free. No, capitalism is not perfect, absolutely not. But it will do a whole lot better. People that want to bust their ass are going to be successful. The lazy ones are going to be left behind, and so be it. Why should people get free handouts? Why? I don't understand. People are so entitled nowadays with their thoughts and opinions, and they haven't gone through the hardship. I've gone through the hardship when it comes down to crypto. I've learned my 2 cents. I've gained a shitload. I've lost a shitload. But I've gone through it. I learned, and I understand the process to a certain extent. I remember the time when people were telling me, Dean, sell everything. Come on, dude. Belittling me. When I was with people at the gym, oh man, are you in that crypto thing? Belittling me. Now they built a company with crypto. Where's the thank you? Where's the like, oh yeah, you kind of like gave me that little kind of nudge. I never wanted to say it. There's so many people. I don't care. I wish you well. But be honest. Be honorable. That is what I care for. That is why I'm doing all of this. So, access to launch this peer-to-peer. I'll bring it back for a second. According to a new blog post from the platform, Elon Musk, formerly Twitter, is launching a peer-to-peer payments system this year. Indeed, the platform stated its work in 2023 laid the groundwork for the global town square to come to fruition in 2024. The development is a key part of realizing Musk's vision for the social media platform, as stated in the blog post. The company is working to make X the everything app, uniting experiences into one interface for everyone. Moreover, the launch of peer-to-peer payments is poised to be the crucial part of that growth plan. I think it's spectacular, phenomenal, and he is probably one of the only ones that can really evolve the whole industry when it comes down to payment processing. Now, that is that when it comes down to Bitcoin and co. And here is my big question again. I posted this. I'm confused. So many people are suddenly bullish again for all things crypto. But when I was saying Bitcoin was sub 20K, anywhere in the 20s, you know what? It's a good deal. It's a really good deal. Were you under 20K? That's a free 3x. 3x is a 3 times multiple. People still think in percentages. It's not about percentages in a cryptocurrency. When you're not thinking a double or a triple or a tenfold, guys, I've made a 50 plus fold in crypto. That's exciting. You're going to go absolutely through the moon, through the roof, once you see these numbers happen. Plus, you can earn APR on top of it. But forget that right now. People are excited with 20, 30%. We've done 20, 30% in the last 24 hours with Hex, PLS, and co. It goes very fast in this world. Hex at 1 cent is a free 10x. Whatever goes up needs to come down. But people, again, are emotional. But it's the question. It seems like people prefer to buy the expensive stuff. Don't we like the sales anymore? And this is going to bring me to the next part. Hex. Hex has definitely changed a whole bunch of stuff for me. For the people that are aware of it, cool. The ones that don't know what Hex is, it's a smart contract on the Ethereum chain. Long story short, the founder has forked Ethereum in a new layer 1 cryptocurrency called PulseChain. It is finally released. People have been waiting a long time. There has been a sacrifice period, and suddenly it's gaining attention. However, just like with XRP Ripple, just like with many other situations, just like with Elon Musk, the SEC is after all these people that are actually trying to do good and do a whole lot of positive. And, well, they're trying to keep the thumb on people that are trying to spread the positive news. But now, Richard Hart, the founder of Hex, PulseChain, has stacked up with top attorneys. I've reposted them. I won't go into the details right now. This is something for the next stream to get some more news. But he's partnered up, and what we see is immediately price action. People were depressed. People thought it's over. Absolutely not. Just because it's bad news from some kind of corrupt government propaganda machine that can't even keep a Twitter page secure. How are they going to keep your investments secure? That is laughable. That is absolutely pathetic. And here we have the whole release. I'll just zoom a little bit. And per his words, I'm fighting the SEC for your rights. 11 of my lawyers, he has more than 11 lawyers, have filed this today. Ironically, today, the SEC's Twitter account was hacked and a fraudulent message was posted. The blockchain literally solves exactly this problem. The SEC is attacking the very tech that it needs. Cryptographically verifiable authentication, proof, and publication. Blockchains are the first and only immutable public ledger communications technology. Open source, peer-to-peer software. Millions of people use blockchains to publish pictures, text, messages, literature, and more every single day. Technology is the future, and we pray to the courts to defend the Constitution and your rights. The cryptocurrency community as a whole needs to come together behind this guy right now. Because who has the balls to actually go against them all? We don't want to be ruled. We don't want to be regulated with all this kind of stuff. No. We want to just be free and do and transact however we want, especially in America, especially in this country. What is this flag otherwise for? I believe we're going to have that positive ending, that light at the end of the tunnel. I think we're going to have a rough time to go through. But overall, people that are invested, people that are, how should I say, that are curious, are going to have a really good time. If you guys want, you can look at our website. We have a couple tickers. You can see a whole bunch of other stuff on there as well. But that's going to be the chat for today. There's going to be specifics. We're going to get people in the stream live. But I had to say something about all this today. It's just when you're passionate about something, when you can't sit still and you want the world to know. I don't even care if there's 2-3 people live or whoever's going to watch it. At a certain point, people will see it. And it's important. You have to start somewhere. The first podcast, the first live stream is never perfect. I remember we had less than 10 people in our first live stream in Germany, and now we just reached over 500 people live. That is epic. That is epic, with thousands of viewers over the weekends. So when we go back, we see that Bitcoin is very, very slowly trying to just hold that 45, 46K mark. But what we see in the Richard Hart universe is Hex on PulseChain. You have a free copy, PulseX, and then we have a little error. But here, there's also a nice run up for PulseChain, and everything is 20 to 30% in a plus. Just from a little news from the SEC, just from people getting over their emotional fuzziness, just that. Well, I would hold on to everything when the actual bull run is going to take off, because that's going to be the most exciting part. The bull run will, at a certain point, come about and be more exciting than anything you've ever seen before. I don't believe we're going to have a super cycle. I don't believe Bitcoin is going to go over 300K and then just go past 500, go past a million. Overall, yes, one BTC eventually will most likely be worth $1 million. But you're going to have to wait a little while for that. And if you want to change your life, if you want to make a difference already and have a little bit more freedom, because money does bring freedom, some of it. It's not the ultimate. It's not the everything. But you're going to have to look elsewhere. You're going to have to find certain kind of products that are going to be able to give you a tenfold. Because when was the absolute best time? When Bitcoin was under 1 cent. When there was barely any liquidity, when the volatility was absolutely insane. That was the best time to buy. There's tweets that are coming back from guys. They're like, oh my God, why did I sell my Bitcoin at $5? It's now at $100. Or why did I sell at 25 cents? Oh my God. They were happy then. I remember when 10,000 Bitcoin were paid for 2 pizzas. 2 pizzas, 10,000 Bitcoin. Those were some very expensive pizzas. But what is the real goal over here? What is the real, I don't want to say purpose, but people are greedy. People don't have any patience. People are quickly to call something a scam when it doesn't work out how they envision it. You buy something today, and these people expect it to be a 2, 3, 10, whatever fold tomorrow. Guys, you're not in a casino. This is a little bit different over here. But do your research, see how particular products work. And when it's actual real DeFi, decentralized finance, I'm telling you, you won. You absolutely won. I'm not saying this product is better than the other, because there's many that are going to be able to get you whatever you want. Some a little bit more risky, some a little bit less. But I think it's absolutely crucial, and it's too risky not to look into crypto. This was fun. This was exciting. I hope more people eventually will come in live so I can do a little bit of a Q&A. Leave me a comment. Click subscribe. Press that like button if you found something interesting, and just let me know what you want to hear. I can give you tutorials. I can tell you how to set up your MetaMask, how to make some stakes, how to gain some APR with certain kind of tokens without having too much risk. It's all not too complicated, but you have to look into it. It's not just buy and boom, it goes up and then sell. It doesn't work like that. If it would be like that, then everyone would do it. The good things in life aren't too easy. You're going to have to take the road less traveled. Guys, stay positive, be happy, enjoy, and I'm going to see you probably next week. Bye.